Well, things are still rolling here and around Greeley thanks to our Greeley-Evans Transit. And here to give us an update on what's happening with transit and some new opportunities that are coming in the near future, we have Leighton Powell, who is the, I'm going to get your title right, Transit Operations Supervisor. Did I get that right?
You got that right, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today
Thank you.
and for talking to us about GET, Greeley-Evans Transit, and tell us how things are going.
Well, we're slowly getting back to normal as we're trying to say this time of day or this time of year. We're rolling. We're bringing back service. We've extended our hours, going into the more later evenings like we used to before this whole COVID pandemic.
Yep.
And we're looking at things in the fall and how we can maybe expand service yet even further, getting back to that pre-pandemic level. So.
Right. So there was, if I recall, if I'm remembering correctly, things were getting pretty busy for Greeley-Evans Transit. You guys were expanding services and new routes and reaching out to residents and seeing what routes would be helpful to them, and just always looking at ways to be a better service provider and putting that out there and getting people where they need to be, including the addition of Pooter Express. And that is back and available for the regional folks who are traveling regionally.
That is correct. We're going back to Fort Collins and going through Windsor. So it's the same old route that we started back in January of 2020.
So I'm going to stop you there because there may actually be, believe it or not, folks who don't even know what the Pooter Express is. So tell me a little bit about that, about what Pooter Express is, and because I know it makes stops in Greeley and Windsor and Fort Collins and back again, and it was kind of a new concept, but it was taking off and people are enjoying it and being able to do things and let somebody else do the driving.
Oh, most definitely. Going to work, going to college. If you lived in Greeley, go to CSU, or you lived in Fort Collins, going to UNC. It was a great little connecting point, and the opportunity just to kind of sit back, relax, do your homework, do some work on the way to work, and not have to worry about the headaches of the traffic and that type of thing. We had stops here. We currently still have stops here in Greeley. A few stops in Windsor as we go through, and then on into Fort Collins at the CSU Transit Center there, and then just turn around and come back the other direction and hitting the same spots on the way back.
Now, before we did the interview today, you and I were talking just a little bit, and you mentioned that you're even looking at kind of growing that Pooter Express program, still between Fort Collins and Greeley, but having maybe some more opportunities of times or stops. I can't remember what we talked about, so I'm going to let you tell the folks on camera what it is that are the specifics of that.
Again, going back to pre-pandemic levels,
Okay.
the timing and all that, it was some of the survey and the responses we got back from that survey. People are not currently using the system because the timer's not conducive, and they wanted those old times back. So we are definitely looking at bringing back those old times, bringing back the timing parts of those routes, and even still looking at maybe adding a stop or two in Windsor. We're still evaluating that. So.
Okay. Now, something that's a little bit of a touch point for folks, and it has to do with COVID, that I'm going to have you talk about. And I know that not everyone wants to hear this, but we just have to hit it head on and just talk about the facts. And that is transit and wearing masks. Now, there's a lot of confusion, I know, out there for folks. Do I wear a mask? Don't I wear a mask? Even today, before we started filming, we were like, do we have masks on? There's all these details, but something that is definitely set for Greeley-Evans Transit is that, yes, masks are required.
That is correct. Masks are required on all of our buses, as well as our transit areas, including bus stops. We are asking the public to please continue to wear masks. We are required by federal regulations that masks are required on public transportation. And so right now that's going through September, and we'll kind of see where that goes after September.
Okay, so wear the masks. Got it. Check. And just I appreciate so much you getting the word out, and it's nice to have something that's set and that's known. So for now, you know that. Wear your mask when it comes to Greeley-Evans Transit. And one last thing I want to talk to you about, Leighton, that was also on our list today, and that is paratransit bus. It sounds like you got some new ones, kind of sleek and shiny, and something for folks to look forward to.
Most definitely. Our paratransit and call and ride for the evening call and ride services. We're beginning to roll in some newer buses. They're just replacing some old fleet, some older buses that are going away, just getting up there in miles and years. So, but these buses are just a little bit smaller, and so our drivers like that, just a bit more comfortable to control and operate safely. But yet they're still comfortable and clean and very welcoming for the passengers on board. So.
All right, so we hit a lot. We talked about Greeley-Evans Transit in general and routes and hours, as well as Pooter Express and those new paratransit buses. That's a lot of information, and I know that you also have apps out there for people to see when rides are coming, et cetera, et cetera. So where can folks get more information, or maybe call and if they've got questions?
If they have questions, they can call our main line, 970-350-9BUS, which is 9287.
Okay.
Or they can go to our website, www.greeley-evanstransit.com, and lots of good information on there.
All right, I would agree with that. Lots of good information. Leighton, thank you so much for being here today and filling us in on all the details.
Thank you very much.
All right, so make sure you hop on, get Greeley-Evans Transit, and get to where you need to go, whether it's to work, play, school, or just have a good time with some friends here in Greeley, or even all the way to Fort Collins. Make sure you check out those schedules and all the opportunities at greeley-evanstransit.com.